Hello, this is my Hoya Carnosa collection, and we have things like sports, which are just really mutations. So I guess I'll start with my standard Hoya Carnosa. So this is actually technically what we have right off camera, the Crimson Princess. One of the things that I've noticed with my Hoyas is intervariegated, the Crimson Princess has intervariegation, is when that happens, I seem to just get stuck with green leaves. I really have to struggle with keeping intervariegation. That is my problem. And as you can see, even there is it started out as an intervariegated, and it just its mutation failed. I would say it wasn't stable enough, and then it came out to solid green leaves. So I've just been keeping mine in here. This is a planter from IKEA. I thought it was a good idea. This is actually really heavy, and I'd say I oftentimes neglect this, and in the process of neglecting it, I don't water it, so it constantly gets dead ends. But I also don't mind kind of keeping it compact. Not the compacta. So I don't really mind. I've done that before. I've had a different plain Hoya Carnosa, and I enjoyed keeping it a bit tighter in form. So I was honestly hoping, because one of the things that started happening was it was getting like a bit more unique, larger, rounder leaves instead of just the standard oblong. I love rounded leaves. I love like more of that rounded shape. Yeah, round leaves, rounded shape. So I was excited and hoping that it would just keep growing, but it doesn't seem to really continuously do that. But it grows peduncles, and then I accidentally dry it out. So have yet to bloom it. But then, since I referenced how that came from my Crimson Princess, there we go. And this one, as you can see, I took all these Hoyas down. I really took this as an opportunity because I have to do that every so often. One, to prune dead ends because of my fault, and then two, it just will put out, I mean, it's lovely. These are really pretty leaves. We'll just put out those solid green leaves, and it starts to do the solid binding. This has bloomed for me. It has not bloomed since I've moved here, so, or maybe it did once, but it's clearly not happy enough to keep blooming. I'm probably not watering it enough. It's the moral of the story, pretty much always. But one of the things that it will do, I prune this, and then I'm going to water these. I did not water this. This is heavy but so light compared to what it should be. I didn't want to water everything and then hold it up. I was like, let's make good choices. But in the process of that, one of the ways you can tell with its variegation, it has the pinker vines, and let's see if I can get this for you. It has the pinker vines, and there are green stripes in it. So I think what happens is then the node starts to get, well, there's a peduncle happening. Young. We'll see what it does. We'll see if I neglect it. But then it starts to grow out. I just cut a lot of these. Instead of having this pink vine with that variegation on it, what it'll do, man, I was wondering if I should have kept that. Here's a good example. Not really. This green leaf, this one's going to probably start reverting, but this vine that's growing out of it still has, you can see that in there, still has some pink, but then the vine will stop being this pink form and it'll just grow in more burgundy, and that's kind of how you can tell that that vine is done. It's not going to keep lovely variegation. I love when they grow in. It has like that pink cream. I enjoy this. Is it the prettiest variegation? No, but I really enjoy, like, there are just some stunningly, if only every leaf was like this, But in my mind, that's kind of then where the Australis Lisa falls in, and you can get all the leaves beautiful like this. So I don't think every leaf on here is stunning, but it's large, I have to keep it forever. But yeah, I would say that I kind of struggle with keeping this variegated, and I have to go through and prune and get rid of those. I'm just gonna keep that random one, kind of pops. Where was this? So that is one of the things that you can tell is with the vine what happens. And so this is the Carnosa Nova Ghost, I believe. Nova Ghost? Oh, there's a gray ghost and a Nova Ghost. So both Carnosas. So the way I know which one it is it was originally the Argentina Princess. Is there the word Picta in that? Once again, there's so many more Carnosas that I don't have. I just haven't. And so this is the Argentina Princess once the variegation of the inner variegation, like how the princess has it. Yeah, like how the princess has that inner variegation. It's like this with silver on top of a princess. It's really stunning and beautiful. Obviously everyone wants that. That used to be, you know, like $1 million per the plant or just a cutting. And the price has really come down, but I haven't gotten it. One of the things I learned from Coco Ranch, which I believe is no longer in business, but I have gotten a couple Hoyas from them, is, so this doesn't have it. I tried this experiment last summer. If you give not every, doesn't always work, the reverted Nova Ghost enough light, variegation can come back if you have the correct vine. If you have the correct vine. And I'm pretty sure I burnt this Hoya just trying to give it extreme light. It could be mites. Probably also mites happen to this. And then I am pretty sure I burnt it outside, just attempting to give this enough light to see maybe the variegation will come back. But kind of like when the stem grows in its reverted nature, it's not coming back. So I was just checking and it didn't work. But we have some new growth. Really didn't do a lot. We have some new growth happening this season. So it's finally doing something. I don't know if I will put that outside. I feel like when I put it outside last summer, I didn't have the best luck. So, and I wondered if I'm just not giving it enough light. It's getting very ambient pulled back light from grow lights. Then that can happen if I guess you're not giving it enough light. But I'm probably just gonna keep it inside this season and not harass it, not possibly burn it. Just try to keep it happy. It's finally doing that new growth. So let's keep that thing happy. Let's keep it growing. Probably unrelated to finally fertilizing it. In the world of variegated Hoyas, I guess we'll keep with, so that one went silver. I don't unfortunately have it. The silver version of the Hoya compacta is Jody's silver. I don't have that one. Obviously everyone wants that. That was super expensive. Still probably is a bit expensive, but the price, the price has come down, but still salty. So I just have the solid green Hoya compacta. I, once again, want it to be full. I don't want one side to kind of grow out of control, so I snip that and hopefully it grows. You know, you take the risk. You cut off the growth point that's actively growing and you hope it recovers quickly and pushes something out. And I don't know. I feel like I did that recently, but not too recent, and it hasn't done much yet. So it just has the two. Hopefully. I'm not going to put this outside. This is one of the Hoyas that doesn't do well with a lot of light. So, but I do like to keep it in the south-facing window, as I say. I'm like, not a lot of light, not a lot of light. And the exciting varieties of that. So we have the outer variegated, so elbow marginata type, and this is You know, I believe Hoya compactas are notoriously slow for growing. I used to have a larger one, and it was very fast growing. It would bloom, but it was an established plant. This is still young. We just have this little puff over here that is, you can tell by the little pink on it. So that's newish, and these have a little bit of new pink. There's, you know, slow growing. Slow. When I did have a larger, more established Hoya compacta elbow marginata, I took cuttings from it, and some of them like failed, but one of them that I had, as you can see, it then mutated and started giving me monoloa leaves. I was so excited. What are the odds? How is this happening? So mine made its own monoloa, and then I was pretty happy. One time when I made an order, someone gave me a free cutting of a monoloa. So this is how I have this plant. Random mutation, because that's what sports are. They're just random mutations. So definite real happened to me sport. And then as it's been pushed out more, someone had the sport and then just started feeding it to the masses slowly, and now these are more common, the monoloas. Pretty happy about that. I'm just not looking forward to picking up some of those hefty ones in the background. This is the Wilbur Graves China. There's also Wilbur Graves Russia. Good, the fridge finally stopped. This for me stood still for a while, and now, like true Carnosa form, it's really taking off. I love this color so much. I believe that then this can also be influenced by just, yes, yes, I love this. I don't want to make a bold claim, but if I had no more Hoyas ever, I would be happy just to have this one, and it's only this so far. I love this. Ugh, this is so tasty looking to me. Yeah. But one of the things I like to do is then trim the ends. I love it so much. I don't want to do it yet, but I know I need to, is because I'm not going to make my own trellis. I'm gonna, whatever it does, but I want it to hang. I need to trim the end, so then hopefully it pushes out new growth from somewhere up high. But I just love it so much. I don't want to do that yet. I'm sure everyone knows what these look like, but I love this. I love all the leaves. I mean, one's less desirable, but those are just beautiful, beautiful leaves. The Hoya Carnosa Wilbur Graves China. And then I would like the Russian form if that is truly different. So another silver. I enjoy silver. I know there's like the Carnosa freckles, like maybe cloud sky night, starry night. I don't have any of those, but I have, this is the AH074. Do they call it like a silver
moon?
But it's one of the things that this plant can do, which I have definitely noticed, and we have a horribly accurate example right here, is then it struggles to hold its mutation properly, and then it just starts putting out the normal green leaves, because you want the fun ones. So I feel like, I'm pretty sure, when it initially starts to grow out, they come out green. What is the good angle? They come out a bit green, and then they turn into the silver. But sometimes they don't really change, and they don't really do the silver like they should. So let me just, my trusty left-handed scissors, because this is never going to do anything other than have reverted green. That's all this is going to do. So I'm going to take the trash out tonight, and that's going with it. But I see, unfortunately, this new growth, this new vine, it is not holding, well, apparently that one wasn't that green, or wasn't that silver. But then this one down here hiding, man, this one hiding was silver, and then and that one was silver, but then something happened. The mutation didn't hold. We have a little bit of the interesting flecking on the edge, but as you can see, that green is taking over this plant, and that's not enough for me. I can see little spots of it on there, but I don't know if that's enough for me. So maybe in the amount of time, because like everything that I have, it has peduncles, and then I don't water it enough and they dry out. So there is a peduncle on that. I am going, it's had other peduncles, but I just keep neglecting it and they dry out. So I'm going to give it a chance to see what those leaves possibly do. I don't think they're going to come back. I don't think that it's just going to start putting out beautiful silver leaves like that. It's not going to do it. It's just going to go more green and do something like that, which I'm not here for that. I want to try and encourage as much silver as possible on this Hoya, AH074. So if I can do, if I dry it out, I'm just going to cut it off. And then once it blooms, I'm just going to cut it off, unless it happens to go against all odds and go more silver. But it might just not have the best genetics to do something like that. I guess we'll do a heavy one. This is the Carnosa Chelsea. I finally got it to bloom for me last summer, last fall. It took years. I've had this for years. And I also recently repotted it because the growth kind of became stagnant. It's a larger plant and it's heavy. I rinsed it off to get some of the dust off. So, what do we have going on? It's going to bloom again. I have a short of it blooming, but the short's not what I've realized I like to do. So I'm just curious. There, hide my face. So I'm just curious if I should do a new one when that blooms. But one of the things that I love is that these have a bit more rounded. I know, it's like, they're supposed to be heart-shaped. They're supposed to be these really cute little heart ones. Not every leaf is a perfect heart, and I'm fine with that because if anything, it just gives like puffiness, like puffy leaves, and I love that. There is a crinkle 8, which I used to really also appreciate that, but for me, it's kind of like, I have the Chelsea. I think the Chelsea's better than the crinkle 8. But I wouldn't be upset if I ever got the crinkle 8 for free, or if I saw like one for $2, like, okay, sure. But I'm not gonna go out of my way for a crinkle 8 because I like the Chelsea more. I mean, as a collector, I should get them all, but just taking up space. So and I do enjoy the crinkle 8 because similar to the Chelsea, it has the texture in those leaves, which is quite a unique feature. I love that. This one's heart-shaped with some texture. The crinkle 8 kind of looks like, what is it, the green bean pod? I love that. But it's a large plant and it needs water, even though it's so heavy. And then the queen. So one of the things that I accidentally did with the queen is I knew, so light right now, that's great, but I knew it needed to be repotted, and I was like, okay, I'll repot this. I probably went 2 months without giving it any water. Carnosas, they're fantastic. They can handle a lot of abuse. Don't do it intentionally. So I probably went like 2 months without giving this thing any water. And it like kept blooming, probably some death blooms. Like it was just like putting them out. And I'm like, well, it keeps blooming. And I was like, why water it if I'm going to repot it? And then I just wouldn't repot it because I knew it was a headache. I hate repotting. Like a normal person, repotting is a headache. But so since I've done it, it still hasn't bloomed, right? I don't think it's bloomed since I repotted it, but it's growing. So I think, yeah, like right here, I don't know if we're gonna see that. There, I'll just hold it that way. there. If you can see that I feel like all the peduncles are really dried up on it. But one of the things that I experience, it's also one of the joys of a Hoya Crimson Queen. Did I say the Crimson? It's the Queen. Is that this can happen completely variegated. But then the problem with completely variegated leaves is that there's no ability to sustain itself, and it takes energy from the plant, and they will eventually just fall off. So enjoy it while you have it. I think it's pretty, I don't mind, but that is some of my other Hoyas. Oh, there's some dead leaves in there. But some of my other Hoyas, once they start to go all white, I just can't make them green again. And so I love, they come out very, very magenta, very bright pink. Let's see. So this is like, not only does it come out white, it comes out pink. Clearly this was getting smushed in there. So it's just a beautiful process of watching new leaves emerge on this plant. There is actually a new one. Is it a, so heavy. Is it a Flamingo Dream? I know that Canopy Plant Company has it. There's other companies that have like that Flamingo Dream, and it's apparently, you know, it's a sport, it's a mutation, it's a Crimson Queen. Exact same thing, except what it does is when it has its new growth come out, it has, I don't know how you're gonna get more intense than that pink right there, but when the new growth comes out, maybe, I believe it just holds onto it longer, maybe it's not more intense, but it's like this is fading. You can see that is a light pink, but you know, soon it'll just be that. It'll just be like those leaves. And so I would say if you're interested at all in a Hoya Crimson Queen, probably look for that Flamingo Dream if you're excited about the pink nature of it. I already have this. I already have this large plant. I have a history with it. It used to bloom profusely for me, but you know, I've heard it over the years. But once again, if I was ever gifted a Flamingo Dream, or I saw one for a couple dollars, I would get it. Like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to get that since I already have certain things like this. This fills that void for me. I'm already fine and happy with it. Kind of like the Chelsea versus the Crinkle 8. I'm already fine and happy with what I have, but you know, things to consider if you're looking for Hoyas and Hoya alternatives to basically the same thing. But so that's my Hoya Carnosa collection. I have the Queen, the Princess, inner variegated, outer variegated, compacta, plain Carnosa, a Chelsea AH047. Oh gosh. Wilbur Graves China, Nova Ghost, right? Was that 10? That's my Hoya Carnosa collection. I didn't realize I had like 10 of them.